Hello everybody, what is up? This is the Ashish and Ryan Sports and Political Podcast. I gotta get that name changed, guys. But anyway, I don't need stats. I don't need stories. I don't need, I don't need the factoids. I don't need any of that today. Because today is a period of mourning, right? It's a period of sadness for some people. It's a period of mourning. It's a period of reflection. It's also a period of reevaluation. What are the discussions we're having today? LeBron James yesterday and Kevin Durant yesterday both put on unbelievable shows. LeBron scores 37. It looks better than if he scores 33 like he did last night. Let me just start with this. Apparently now, everyone cares about defense. Everyone cares about defense in basketball. Now, LeBron James, you didn't guard Kevin Durant in the last 3 minutes of the basketball game. Where was Kevin Durant guarding LeBron James? The switches on that side were intentional as well. Obviously, Durant had a better offensive game than LeBron James. That's evident. He scored 43 points on 23 shots, shot 6 of 9 from 3, mid-range jumper after mid-range jumper, was the best player on the court by far. Okay, but we're overrating here LeBron James' quote-unquote defensive impact that he would have had on Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant was hitting shots that no one in the world can hit. No one in the world can hit those shots. This is a joke, right? That if you think somehow LeBron James is put on Kevin Durant doesn't hit those shots. Oh wait, he's scared of guarding Kevin Durant. What do you mean he's scared of guarding Kevin Durant? Kevin Durant scored on everybody. There was nothing to lose by guarding Kevin Durant here. Kevin Durant would have scored on LeBron. Kevin Durant would have scored on anybody. LeBron James has a role as a 15th year, 46 minute a night basketball player for the Cleveland Cavaliers. He is a rover. See ball, get ball, that type of guy. He isn't a stick on you, on ball defensive player anymore. He probably will never be ever again if he wants to maintain the level of offensive production that he's putting forth, which is historical. Kevin Durant had his all-time night last night. LeBron James one-upped him 2 games before in the exact same series, yet they lose by 10 points and the Warriors win by 8 in this game 3, no doubt Kevin Durant was the difference between a blowout and a Warriors narrow victory. No doubt. Hit a clutch shot again, 5 feet behind the 3-point line, left wing. Deja vu moment, right? But let's be real about this. LeBron James shot 14 of 28. The box score says 13 of 28. They counted the off the backboard pass as a shot. He shot 1 of 6 from 3. This year he shot 37% from the 3-point line. In this series, he was 5 of 10, shooting 50% from the 3-point line before last night. LeBron James this year has been a very good 3-point shooter. He shot 1 of 6 from 3. I know you don't take certain numbers away, right? But take away those 3-pointers, take away the off the backboard pass, shot, whatever. LeBron James is 12 of 21. For 31 points. Yeah, Durant was more efficient. But LeBron James, in terms of general efficiency outside of the 3-point line, again, 12 of 21. The man shot 6 of 7 from the free throw line. Another accusation unfairly plotted against him. He shoots 75% as a career average. Not a great free throw shooter, but definitely not a bad one. Okay, Kevin Durant played better than LeBron James in one game. LeBron James played better than Kevin Durant in games 1 and 2. Steph Curry is the reason why they won game 2. Game 1 was an absolute travesty for Cleveland to lose. Oh, and by the way, where was Kevin Durant guarding LeBron James? 33 points, 12. Excuse me, in the last quarter. The clutch quarter where he doesn't show up at all. He had 20 points in the second half. Where was Kevin Durant guarding the guy? Oh, that's right. He wasn't there guarding LeBron. Yeah, he had that block that everyone looks at that's going to get replayed 1,000 times to show, hey, Kevin Durant plays defense. They kept switching Kevin Durant off of LeBron James. Because whenever LeBron James had Kevin Durant on him, he would out-muscle him to the rim. This is not an indictment on Kevin Durant. This is not an indictment on LeBron James either. But if it is going to be an indictment on LeBron, from a media perception, why in the world isn't it an indictment on Kevin Durant? Just because they won the game doesn't mean that Kevin Durant had this great all-around game on both ends of the floor, and neither did LeBron, right? Kevin Durant definitely had a better offensive game, more efficient, better shot making, more points, still was able to facilitate, rebounded the ball aggressively, did so very well. He was the best player on the floor in Game 3. But this unfair indictment on LeBron James that he doesn't guard Kevin Durant. Okay, where is Kevin Durant guarding LeBron? And if he is, he really hasn't done a good job throughout any of the 3 games. Okay, let's be fair of our criticisms here. LeBron James, 19 points in the second half, 12 points in the fourth quarter, 6 of 7 from the free throw line, hit the big clutch 3 to get the Cavs from down 4 to down 1 with just under 2 minutes to go. Hit the clutch shot for the Cavs, though they couldn't take it home. Every single narrative that you have put forth for LeBron James was eviscerated last night. LeBron James wasn't efficient earlier in the game, but he didn't shoot 35% like Kevin Durant did in Game 1. Again, here's the deal. Durant was the best player on the floor in Game 3. That doesn't mean LeBron wasn't great. That doesn't mean, okay, that LeBron was terrible because Kevin Durant was otherworldly. Okay, this is just people looking at LeBron James saying, we want to take that crown off of your head in any way possible. And we're going to take one game to do it. See, this is the thing with Game 3 last year. Even last year. Okay, at least this year, Kevin Durant showed up and played the entire game. Kevin Durant, though he scored 31, didn't pass the ball. He scored 31 in the 2017 Game 3. LeBron scored 39. LeBron had what Kevin Durant scored the entire game. Last year's 2017 NBA Finals Game 3. He had that in a half. Okay. Kevin Durant's shot matters because Kyle Korver misses a wide open three-pointer. Okay, let's stop acting as if Kevin Durant has just thoroughly outplayed LeBron James in the NBA Finals, because he hasn't. You can characterize Game 3 possibly as an example of that. But if you get outplayed scoring 33 points and a triple-double, scoring 12 points in the fourth quarter, 6 of 7 from the free throw line, there's nothing you can do to top that. Oh, he should have looked for his shot more. You realize the reason they were up 15 was because J.R. Smith was hitting shots? George Hill, 2 points, second half. J.R. Smith, 1 for 7, second half. I mean, come on here. Why doesn't Rodney Hood start the entire second half? Why does he come off the bench? Kyle Korver, maybe? Maybe he can hit some shots. Don't put him in. The loss is not an indictment on LeBron. The loss is an indictment on Ty Lue. This season is an indictment on Ty Lue. He could have done things so that they win game 1. He could have done things so that at least they were more competitive in game 2. And it was a close game up until 9 minutes to go in that game. Game 3, they should have won. Ty Lue makes some other moves. They possibly win this game. This is a coaching issue. This is a organization that is dysfunctional. That is why the Cavaliers lost. It is not because of LeBron James. But we all know this. Right? See, what everybody believes is that LeBron James will come out and go hard. He will be the alpha in game 5. The issue, however, game 4, sorry. But the issue with this is that LeBron James, not only is he not going to come out, he will suck in game 4. He will absolutely be awful in game 4. LeBron James may have the worst playoff game of his career in game 4. Kevin Durant will finish the deal and everybody will say LeBron is washed. He's on the way down. Kevin Durant is now the best player in the world. LeBron James, okay, knows he is done in Cleveland. He's going to LA. Alright, he's not going to Houston, where we don't even know if they'll have enough money to pay him. He's not going to be an off-the-ball, catch the ball in the high post, turn around and shoot type of player. He's a good shooter, but he's not a great one. Definitely improved, definitely a threat. But still, San Antonio, slight chance. I don't think he goes there. How does he mesh with Kawhi Leonard? I have no idea. Cleveland, I wouldn't stay in Cleveland. No one would stay in Cleveland. Dan Gilbert probably doesn't want to stay in Cleveland. LeBron James is out of there. LeBron James looked extremely apathetic, except on the bench. If you noticed, there was a moment in last night's game where he looks up at the video of Kevin Durant hitting a 3. And LeBron James has this wry smile on his face. And it just feels, like it's the end. He looks at it and says, man, you know what? Tip your cap. I'm out. It's done. It's over. LeBron James went from the biggest superstar meltdown in the history of basketball to elevating himself to the second greatest player in the history of the sport. Okay, think about that. LeBron James, if he doesn't have that Dallas series, and I know we can do the Dave Wanstead method for everything, but let's be honest about that. If he doesn't have the Dallas series, let's say they lose and he plays great. Where's LeBron in this discussion? Okay, so LeBron James, in my opinion, has not had a bad series. Has not had a bad playoff series. He's had bad playoff games. But he's not had bad playoff moments. The last bad playoff moment he's had was this 6-game series against Dallas. What was it, 7 years ago? For the first time in 7 years, LeBron's reputation, I shouldn't say reputation, LeBron's basketball resume will have a black mark on it. He will play awful in this game 4. And here is why. He knows it's over. And he's not going back. Okay? He's got 4 to 5 years of his prime left. If he can take rest, if he can stop the body hits, he's obviously developed in the last, ever since he left for Miami, he's been a very, I shouldn't say very good, a good to very good shooter in the mid-range, in the three-point land. Developed a post-up after the Dallas series. Was a good shooter even when they lost to Dallas. Just had a terrible finals, though. LeBron, think about this. You leave you know it's inevitable that you're leaving your home. But it's not because it was your choice. It was because someone beat you out. It's you're fighting for an enemy to keep control of your homeland, this country that you've lived in for your entire life. You're the ruler of the city. And you die valiantly in a fight. What those last moments are moments of reflection. They're moments of realization. They're moments of inevitability. What is the motivation for LeBron James to take it to a Game 5? To lose in a Game 5? They win Game 5, come back Game 6. They win that Game 7, lose that. Game 4, Friday night, tomorrow night. Steph Curry's going to be much better. Thompson's going to be much better. And it's not as if they didn't have shots. They weren't hitting shots. If they hit shots, they are unstoppable. LeBron James will have the worst playoff game in his NBA career tomorrow night. 5 points. They're going to be down by 20 at the end of the first quarter. There's going to be standing ovations for the next 3 quarters. But you know what the deal is? It's just emotional, man. He gave himself for the city. He gave himself for the moment. But man, you just can't overcome certain things in life, man. You can't overcome dysfunction. He was a 2-time champion in Miami. He'll be fine in LA. He'll probably win a ring or 2 in LA. But man, Cleveland is just dysfunctional. They are a toxic franchise. It is a toxic sports city with an egotistical owner. LeBron James just can't deal with incompetence anymore. The fans understand that, the team understands that, but you know what? The owner doesn't. Because he wrote that letter to LeBron 8 years ago. He allowed for himself to become part of the story. He did many things LeBron did not want him to do, traded away the star player, fired the GM. Didn't have a great relationship with LeBron in the first place, and he just wrote that terrible, terrible letter. In response to LeBron doing something. Okay, not only that wasn't anti-competitive, it didn't ruin the competitiveness of the league. It didn't do that at all. The East was still very competitive. The finals were very good. The West was still fine. He didn't shift the balance of power. Really. Because LeBron's team was usually the best team in the NBA. What he did, he made sure he had more of the power on his side. And by the way, the decision was to raise $8 million for the Boys and Girls Charity. So let's take that, like, the fact that he wanted to do this on television as a way to spite at someone out of the way, that's just... That's just a stupid assumption. But this man openly disrespected him. He created the dysfunction to where LeBron had created a sense of normalcy. This is simply the greatest flop in the history of sports. Look, the fans don't deserve this. LeBron doesn't deserve this. But the franchise does, because they're run by an egotistical moron that will forever regret his decision. I know it's a fine line. The franchise deserves it. But the fans don't. And with all this reflection, from the time he is 16 years old, the Cavs want him, to the time of he is 33, 17, 18 years of his life, from high school to now. His kids grew up here, made friends, went to school, came back to school. They were supposed to stay here for the rest of his career. Everything was supposed to be happy. He was supposed to be Cleveland for life. But you know, sometimes it's not meant to be. And the sadness of this is that LeBron James had tried to make it like that for his entire career. The fans tried to make it like that for his entire career. A rich, possibly even racist. Okay, I don't say this a lot, but this guy may actually be have some racial undertone issues with LeBron. Egotistical, that no one can argue about that. Stupid, mean, idiotic, rich, white guy. I don't mean to make this a racial issue, but it seems as if he has those intention, especially when dealing with LeBron. I'll just take, forgive the racial, forgive the reference to the man's race, calling him white. He is white, but still. Just an egotistical, rich, old, stupid, arrogant man with no self-awareness, ruined sports for an entire city and ruined the greatest player of this generation, LeBron's plan to serve through basketball his hometown. LeBron was supposed to stay here for the rest of his career. Dan Gilbert, and only Dan Gilbert, screwed that up. LeBron didn't do anything. Kyrie didn't do anything. The fans didn't do anything. Even Kevin Durant doesn't have anything to do with this. Because the Cavs are leading this series if Kyrie stays. If they don't trade Kyrie while he's under contract for the next 2 years. If they don't let go of one of the best general managers in the league, David Griffin. This is Dan Gilbert's fault. That letter shows you why he left. It is a toxic organization from the top. He came back, they screwed up. Again, toxic organization from the top. There's a pattern to this, man. And Dan Gilbert is the reason why LeBron is going to leave. It's going to be an emotional night. He's not going to play well. I don't blame him. I expect this. But you know what? The fact that one man can ruin relationships in an entire city, that is just a travesty. And he does not deserve to hold the job as the Cavs owner. He deserves to be put down for if he bids for another team ever again. Because for him to screw up this with the best player on the planet, he screwed this up twice. Twice he screwed it up. Man, you may have money, but you're still a stupid person. This is the Ashish Narayan Sports and Political Podcast. Oh, I don't have the music up. But coming up next, apparently people are still ticked off that Colin Kaepernick isn't signed. Why he is the reason he isn't signed. And it has nothing to do with the president, politics, his play over the last few years, or anything to do with the anthem protest. Well, it has something, but not to do with these specific protests. That is coming up next on the Ashish Narayan Sports and Political Podcast.